Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you are, if you aren't, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, hit that like button while you're at it. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this conversation/reality chat. All right. I already talked about this, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper because I just cannot believe the audacity of Marsau and just the sheer foolishness of Tisha to even go through this type of stuff with this man. Now, when it comes to marriage, sacrifices definitely are some things that you have to do. Like, you may desire to have your home designed a different way, but you consider your spouse. So it's not just about what you want, but it's about what we want. You know, I think of sacrifices in the sense of things like that. Just not being 100% selfish to say, well, this is what I want and I want everything to be my way. But to listen to Marsau talk about sacrifices, this man really doesn't want to be married. And that is why so many people who have made comments about their relationship, it wasn't so much that people are trying to hate on their marriage or anything like that. I don't think anybody hates on Tisha's marriage, because if anything at all, their marriage is like the shining example of women should not even want to aspire to be married, especially if you're going to be with somebody like this, because it can make some people who are not really seeing good examples of marriage just see it as something you should definitely never do. So to listen to this man say the things that he said to this woman, and pretty much was basically letting her know, well, if you want me to stay in the same house with you while I'm going to be renovating this rental that we're in right now until the dream home, Scott Manor, is built in 2 to 3 years, then you're going to have to sacrifice on your allowance and pay me to be here. You're going to have to pay. And so I wanted to play this clip and talk about this because I was like, did he really say that? Did he really say that? And he absolutely did. So let me play this clip so you guys can listen to this.
Everything else is the same.
All right.
Okay? Just making sure we're very clear on that. Marsau got me all the way messed up. This is not going to happen. Our family, we're family. So we're all going to be under one roof. Period.
So I'll tell you what. I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to see if I can negotiate with some other people to see if they can get it done. I can tell you right now that labor cost is going to come from allowance. Both of ours. So, you want me here, you got to pay for it.
You got to pay for it.
We'll both pay for it.
Okay.
So we'll both give up something in order to get this right here. This relationship.
Okay, Marsau.
So I hope you were able to hear that okay, but he's basically saying that because she's not agreeing to let him and their son stay in the house that they're going to be renovating while he renovates it, because I guess he was trying to say, well, I'm going to be doing it myself, and because I'm doing the work, you're going to be better off being in this other rental place that we're looking at, and you stay within this space with the girls while I stay in the other space with our son, and we just live separately while I'm doing this. But look at the greater picture, because this is for us, because we're not going to be spending money to pay someone else to do the job, but we're going to have to sacrifice. So what's the big deal about me staying over here while you stay over here? And you stay with the girls, and I'll have our son stay with me, so you can just feel more secure and have more trust in knowing that this isn't going to be a place where I'm going to have women coming in and out because our son is going to be there. Why would I ever cheat on you if my son's around? Like, do you know how many people have stories as children of their daddy or even their mom meeting up with somebody or having somebody come over to the house or whatever? Like, that doesn't stop a person that wants to cheat from cheating because they have the child with them. I don't care how old the child is, you know? So it was like he was trying to convince her, and he was pissed off that she wasn't just giving into that to say, yeah, that's fine. Well, I understand. Well, it's a sacrifice. I'm, sure that you'll be working hard to get this place renovated. So yeah, that's fine. We're still married. So what's the big deal? But Tisha wasn't having it. And he got pissed off. He really didn't want to go off on her, I feel, the way that he wanted to, let's say, like if the cameras were not rolling. Because when he said it at first and came up with that idea and that thought, she wasn't having it. And then he was like, would you just listen to me? You're being rude. And she's like, I'm not being rude. He's like, well, you're looking at me with that face. Like, that's being rude. Since when does he care about somebody being rude as much as he has been rude to people? I just could not get over the fact that he had the nerve to say that, well, this is going to cost you if you want me to live with you while I'm renovating this other space that we're moving out of while we renovate it. I mean, if that was the case, then you all could just stay in the space that you're renovating. Why not? Just, okay, we'll renovate this room. I'll get this room done. And then once that room is done, then we'll move to the other room. But we'll all just stay in the space, and we're not having to spend money on another space to rent out while I'm renovating this space out. Like, nothing he is saying makes absolutely any sense whatsoever. And that's why I question the success that they claim that they have of their business, because to be honest with you, none of it really makes any fiscal sense to me. It definitely doesn't sound like he knows what he's speaking about when it comes to business success. I believe that he has had some good opportunities that just happened to go his way possibly over the years since he's had the business. But it was revealed that Melody and her ex-husband, which I believe Melody gets most of that credit, because we know that man, he still couldn't pass the builder's exam. So he couldn't have been that successful in building a business to partner up with someone else and then letting them buy him out of it like they claim that they did. But I believe that the majority of the success that they have had in their business was pretty much based off of the residuals of what they got when the business was granted to them, so to speak. And then they allegedly bought out Hotel so that it could just be them. Because when Tisha claims that the money was being lost in the business when Hotel was the head of it, but when they bought him out and she took it over, she made it become successful and excelled it to be profitable. I don't know if that's true. It just, to me, seems very questionable. And to hear this man talk about these different things that he's talked about when it comes to the reason she shouldn't be involved, and if you're the owner of the business, you don't need to know about this and you don't need to know about that, and you shouldn't worry about the expenses and things like that. To me, it just sounds like he's hiding things and he doesn't want her to know about a lot of things that are going on. And so when it comes to this situation and saying that they're going to move out of that space, rent another space so that they can renovate it. I don't know what all they're trying to renovate, because I don't think they're knocking the whole place down. It doesn't look like it's one of these places where, let's say it was built in the 1950s or 1960s and you're gutting the entire inside of it so that you can just pretty much rebuild it to something brand new. I don't think it is that in depth. So why can't they just stay in that space and he just renovates the spaces that he's going to be renovating one space at a time and save that money? It just doesn't make much sense to me. Of course, it's none of my business because they're sharing it. we're talking about it and I'm speculating and I'm asking questions because it just doesn't really seem like it makes sense. Because for him to say, we're going to move out of this space so that we can get it renovated, and then we'll move back into this space, but we'll also be working on Scott Manor, but it's probably going to be another 2 to 3 years before that's done. If you're suggesting that you and your son, not just you, but you and your son stay in that space while you're renovating it, then why can't the rest of the family stay in it and you save that money and not rent out another space? To me, it just sounds like he just wants to be separated, and he's trying to come up with these reasons and excuses as to why it makes sense to do that. But Tisha wasn't having it. She wasn't here for it at all. But to hear him say, well, okay, I'm going to make you an offer. I'm willing to do what you want and see if I can negotiate to have someone else do the work. But that cost is going to come out of your allowance. So you're going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay me to be here. What? What husband tells their wife, you're going to have to pay for me to be living in the same space as you? Absolutely insane. So I'm just going to play this clip again because I'm still bothered by it. I'm still shocked by it. But I'm just like, this doesn't make any sense for someone who claims to be so successful in business and knowing what they do in construction to say you can live in the space and even your son can live in the space, but the rest of the family can't live there and you're going to pay money to rent another space out while you and your son stay there. But because your wife isn't down for you doing that, then she has to pay for you to live with her, pretty much, so to speak, because he's saying, well, if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to have to pay someone else to do the work. But that cost is going to come out of your allowance. So you're going to have to pay for me to be here. Absolutely crazy.
Everything else is the same.
All right.
Okay? Just making sure we're very clear on that. Marsau got me all the way messed up. This is not going to happen. Our family, we're family. So we're all going to be under one roof. Period.
So I'll tell you what, I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to see if I can negotiate with some other people to see if they can get it done. I can tell you right now that labor cost is going to come from allowance. Both of ours. So, you want me here, you got to pay for it.
You got to pay for it.
We'll both pay for it.
Okay.
So we'll both give up something in order to get this right here, this relationship.
Okay, Marsau.
So, yeah, I don't know if you caught that part on the end, but, he said, you're going to have to pay for it. And, willing to compromise. But, yeah, this is going to come out of your allowance. And so I'm willing to try to do this. And then he pauses and then he says, for this relationship. What? Wow. This is just like one ridiculous situation after another when it comes to these two. I watch them. When I do watch them, I just sit and I literally shake my head because it's like, she isn't, I don't believe, clueless. She's just still hoping that the prayers that she's submitting up to the heavens, that some way it's going to change this man. And he is who he is. He just is not happy. He doesn't want to be in this, like he says, relationship, which he's married to this woman. But he's one of those people that he's just going to stick around for the sake of sticking around. And I almost feel like he wants her to initiate the process of leaving. He doesn't want to do it, but if she's okay with it, then she can be the one to do it. It almost reminds me of John Gray, the preacher. He has been weird and he's been busted on a number of different occasions. And I feel that he has done a lot of those things because he's been hoping that she would leave him, because he's not going to be the one to end the marriage because he doesn't really believe in that. But he's not happy being married. to his wife. I think her name is Aventer. He really isn't happy being in that marriage. The chicks that he has been doing stuff with or doing stuff virtually with and sending them cash apps, and he's been playing around with his with his stuff on FaceTime or whatever. Like, those are the stories that came out. Okay. So I'm not talking about anything that I know. I'm talking about the things that were shared that these people, not just one person, said that he was doing, but the people that he was doing the stuff with, they all said that he was complaining about his wife. I could see Marsau being that type to continuously be complaining about his wife. He's not really doing it on camera that much, but he's doing it enough to the point where he's had to go to another continent alone, where he's said on camera that he is not going to renew their wedding vows, where he has said on camera that he is depressed, where he said on camera that, you know, when you're married, you just got to stick in there. He's not really doing things to try to better the relationship so that they can have some happiness. It's just work. It's just a duty. And who wants to be in something like that? I don't want to be married to somebody if I'm not enjoying them. And I definitely don't want to be married to somebody that doesn't enjoy me. So it's just weird. So to hear a man say to his wife, if you want me to live under the same roof with you right now, it's going to cost you. It's going to come out of your allowance. Really, really, really ridiculous. And I just had to speak about that. So you guys let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section. Thank you so much for being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth. I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful. And now I'm going to say bye.